maybe one day I'll actually be like really good at this and I'll actually be ready. Today is not that day. However, today is the day that we are adding field of view to my game. So let's go over here and run the game. What we have so far is we have a little, I don't know, wizardy guy, and he spawns in a randomly generated dungeon, and we can walk around the dungeon. This isn't a particularly long hallway, my goodness. Anyway, we have a dungeon, we can walk around. So today we're adding field of view, so that we can't see absolutely everything. Anyway, I'm following a tutorial by Selena Dev, who's written this wonderful tutorial for making a roguelike in Godot, which is fantastic because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm a dragon ready to listen and clean my apartment. I'm glad I can keep you company. Oh, very warm in here today. I think because it's sunny. And it's a south-facing room, but it's cold outside. Why is it so warm in here? Yeah, well, that's me. I'm just helpful all the time. Okay, what do we got for a tutorial today? So it's perhaps a touch quiet. There we go. Rather than trying to make my own music today, I went back to some Snowbot modular synth stuff. For a little more variation. Okay, last time we created a dungeon to explore, but we also noticed that it's not exciting to explore if you know where all the rooms are from the beginning. Also, those rooms are empty, but we'll handle that next time. So this time, we're going to implement a field of view. We'll do the classic fog of war approach. So we differentiate between areas we haven't explored yet, which we won't draw at all, and those areas we already know about, which we draw. In the areas we draw, we differentiate between all the tiles we can see right now, and those that we remember but can't see. As is common in dungeon crawling, we use a color scheme that invokes the image of the character carrying a torch. So the area we can see is lit, while the area we can't see is dark. Remember that we already set up our tiles with that terminology. Perfect. Speaking of that, let's start with the tiles. The original tutorial uses a big array to keep track of what's explored and visible. Or what's explored and what's visible, but as this impacts mainly how we draw the tiles, we will do all this in the tiles class, so the tiles themselves will keep track of the state and how that state should be visually represented. Okay. So, stick that over there, and this over here, in tile.gd? Yeah, game definition. We're changing the init function, so it's just saying we're adding visible equals false. Position. Oh, that's literally it. We added one line, visible equals false. This means when a tile is created, it won't be drawn. And that's what we want, as we haven't explored most tiles in the beginning. We only want to draw the tile once it's explored. To keep track of that, we add the following property. Oops, this is a property, so we want this up at the top. Var is explored is Boolean. And we're starting with false because we haven't explored it yet. value. So we set it with value. Okay, so we set is explored to value, and if is explored and not visible, we set visible equal true. I mean, we probably don't really need that if. If it's explored, it's visible. Or, hang on, is explored and not visible. Then it becomes visible, but only on the set. Oh no, you hated the Equinox post. Well, I mean, close enough. It's only a... As long as it goes out this week, it's fine. It's close enough. We reveal the tile the first time it is set to be explored, and it will be explored the first time it is in the field of view. Okay. I guess that works. I feel like there's an optimization there, but this is fine. Is in view. Is Boolean. Starts out false. We can set it to a value. Then is explored will become value, and if oops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Is in view equals value. Okay, let's just cover that up. Modulate. Okay. So we're modifying the color, the lit color. If is in view, else. Definition.color. American spellings of colors. Otherwise be the dark color. Okay, so if it's in view, make it the lit color, and if it's not in view, make it the dark color. And if is in view and not is explored, then is explored. Okay. Okay. So when something comes into view, we light it up, and if it's not explored, we'll set explored to true, which will trigger this up here, where explored becomes value, and if it's explored and not visible, then it becomes visible. So technically we light it up, and then mark it explored, and then mark it visible. Okay. That's my thought. I wanted to add links for fun projects. Do the subway. Oh, that's smart. I like that idea. Oh, the socks I started yesterday? Already done the cuff. I'm one row away from starting the color work, and I really want to get into this color work. I'm very excited about these springy socks. Okay, this is a small break from the original tutorial where the property is called visible. However, as Godot uses that name as a built-in property already, I can't use it. These are the things you have to be mindful of when converting between languages and engines. Yes, there are protected words. Property sets out as false. Whenever we set it, we do two additional things. First is change the modulate of the tile to the appropriate state. The tile is in view. We look up color lit in definition, otherwise we look up color dark. This is the main reason I did not use a tile map node, as each tile can better handle its own appearance. Apart from that, if the tile is in the field of view but hasn't been explored yet, we mark it as explored there, thereby trigger the setter above. Yes. Trigger a small cascade of functions will also reveal it. Okay. Godot handles the rendering from there. We only need a way to determine if a tile is in the field of view or not and set it appropriately. The original tutorial uses a function built into TCOD. However, we have to code that ourselves. Field of view will be within the responsibility of the map. In our game scene. Okay, in our game scene, add a new node. Field view in our game scene. Okay. Oh yeah, I saw the crochet quilt square. Looks good. That would make a glorious blanket. Be a cozy, like, dense, heavy blanket. Okay, so are they saying the field of view goes under map or just under game? Sir Peanut? Love that. Yes, I have the words. I was a full stack developer for like 10 years, and then I shuffled sideways into application security, and now I'm here doing this because job markets suck. Apparently self-employment is the only kind of employment I'm gonna get. Anyway, how are you, Sir Peanut? How's your day going? That was a touchland, wasn't it? Ooh, full stack turns site reliability. I have not tackled site reliability or DevOps or any of that stuff. That is a whole other scary world to me. So how'd you go from full stack to site reliability? What's the progression or the reasoning? Well, it says under game, so I'm just gonna do this. Chop. Oops. Regular node. Called field of view. Important to deploy Kubernetes clusters. I've not had to play with Kubernetes myself, but it does seem to be kind of a love-hate relationship. Or like, I don't know. From what I've heard about Kubernetes, I don't know, it's a weird vibe I get. Like, it's useful, but also hated. Is that the correct vibe? No, that's not what I want. What am I doing? I'm attaching a script. I think this is supposed to be under attach script. Right. Source map. View. No, that's it. There we go. Self-taught, I was curious. So I grab things. Okay, just to make sure they work as intended. Neat. Cloud, DevOps, and eventually SRE. Cool. So many jobs that I'm seeing right now are like cloud experience, and I'm like, I'm aware of clouds. I've like peripherally used them, but I couldn't like set one up. Don't know how any of that works. Not that I couldn't learn, but like I've already learned so much stuff, and it would be like really nice if I didn't have to learn like a whole other domain, you know? Maybe I should. Maybe that's where the jobs are right now. I don't know, would you recommend learning cloud and DevOps and site reliability stuff? I haven't been looking for jobs like that, so I don't know if there's more stuff in that area. Might be useful. Environments and leaning towards how things are now. Oh, like security stuff? There's so much wide-ranging stuff in tech. It's like, what do I even focus on? So you can go deep into any you can go so deep into any domain, and it's just like, which one do I pick? I didn't even go to school for full stack either. I was just like generic, mostly back-end software. No, entirely back-end software development, but there was just like none of that when I graduated. It was all like full stack web dev or like some kind of web dev. So I learned web dev, and I didn't do any of that in school. So I just like immediately went the web dev direction because that's where there were jobs. I don't know, maybe it's time to shift again. I would still like to work in cybersecurity though, because that's cool. And like, definitely learn cloud and containers. Fair enough. You have recommended resource? Are there like certifications or stuff for that? So winning gold. Next office that I get to set up, I'm gonna have a better lighting setup where I'm not beholden to what the sun feels like doing at the moment. Just the bane of my existence today. There's choices to pick your poison. Or I guess what I'm actually doing is learning game dev now, so I'll just go and open my own game dev studio. That'll be how it goes. And then I don't have to, probably still have to learn cloud and stuff for that. Pick one and stick with it. I've been seeing a lot of AWS stuff. Like even in security stuff, it's like people want cloud knowledge. AWS seems like the big one. Or biggest one. Annoyingly, I don't think clouds were a thing when I was in school, so I have, like, not even peripheral experience learning about that stuff. AWS Skill Builder. Hang on, let me open a tab for later. AWS Skill Builder. There it is. Cool. I will look at that later. Apparently that's things I need to know. What was I doing? What am I even doing? What is anybody doing? What is even going on? We're attaching a script, blah blah blah. And learn Cantrell.io. Where's learn Cantrell.io? I'm getting a 404 on that. Okay, good for this like one. Oh, learn dot. Cloud and technical training. Cool. I'll take a look at that. Although I definitely have a preference towards free resources. You know. Free is nice. Okay. So I'm borrowing some tutorial code that's borrowing some code from a different tutorial about shadow casting. Sure. Just copy and paste. It's fine. For learning purposes, copy and paste is fine. Figure out what it does after. Okay, most of the game uses vectors to represent positions. This algorithm goes from tile to tile, so it makes more sense to represent positions on the grid as separate x and y coordinates. To facilitate that, create a little wrapper function in map data. Just wraps our existing tile access function. With that, we are ready to add the following field of view. I don't want to type this all out, so I'm going to copy and paste. And field of view. That's deeply nested. I don't like it. Why is it so deeply nested? Oh. Godot looks a lot like Python. It does. That was one of the first things I thought about it. It's very, like, syntax-wise, it's very Python-y. But it is apparently quite different under the hood, because Python had limitations on... Python has threading limitations, I think. And GDScript kept the syntax more or less, but made threading work better, because games need threads. Flashbacks from code reviews. Yeah, I don't love it. I'm gonna read through this and see if I can make it better. Trust me, I understand. I don't love it. The particular tutorial that I'm following, it was straight up like, I stole this code from a C++ tutorial and I don't really understand it, but I made it work. So just here it is. And that's kind of all they have explained. Okay, of note, there's a small modification extension of the original code, the persistent field of view array. We use it here to simplify calculations a bit. It keeps track of which tiles are in view, so the next time we recalculate the field of view, we can just use the clear field of view function to go through that array and set all the tiles in it as not in view, completely resetting the field of view. Right, okay, so we have update field of view. Which calls, okay, so clear field of view. So for everything in field of view, set it to not in view. Okay. Stole is a harsh word. We get inspired? Yes, yes. I'm heavily inspired by this tutorial. I like that. Heavily inspired indeed. I'm eventually going to reskin this. I'm using just a pre-made free tile set right now, but I'm eventually going to do my own art and reskin it as something. And I think there's opportunity for a merging of hacking and dinosaurs. But I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet. I'm also not sure if I can draw a dinosaur. A pixel art dinosaur. But I don't know if like the player would be a human and we have to like avoid the dinosaurs and hack stuff, or if like we're a dinosaur and I don't know. Hacking like cybersecurity or hacking like cybersecurity, as in like hackers hacking, as in hack the planet. Not like chopping. There's plenty of dungeon crawler games where you just go through and hack and slash. No, I want to cyber hack. I think that would be more fun. So maybe instead of like a hack and slash enemy encounter, it would be more like some kind of hacking mini game. I have not thought this through at all. This is like the highest level vague notion of maybe where I want this to go after the tutorial's done. So, okay, update field of view. What is this code doing? We clear the field of view. Wait, so on every update, we clear the entire field of view. Sure. Then we get a start tile, set it to be in view. Then we go, okay, so if we have like a 9 tile block and we're in the middle tile, it's casting out the 8 tiles around us. Dinosaur Murder and Mayhem? But there's gotta be other games like that already. You want a pixel art dinosaur? Named after you? I think this can be accommodated. I think we can have some fun with this. Okay, and what is cast light doing? Okay, there's math here, so we're dealing with slopes. Thanks for the follow, Sir Peanut. I appreciate it. I'm absolutely delighted that I have smashed all of my metrics for the month already. And we're just over halfway through. It's been a good month. X full stack devs should stick together? Yeah! Yeah! Yes, I'm ridiculous, and that's fine. I like it that way. So I want to learn about shadow casting because it sounds neat. This has bringing up vague memories of an assignment in like 9th or 10th grade math where we were like, you have a point and it's like you have to draw out rays to the corners of all the buildings. It was like a top-down view of like you're a person and then there's buildings and then you draw lines out from the person to all the edges of the buildings and color in what you can and can't see. And I think that's what this is doing. But in tile format. So what is slope? Side note, it is exceptionally windy outside right now, so if the stream suddenly goes down, I've either lost power or internet, and I'll come back if I can. It was already flickering earlier today, so if I suddenly disappear, it's just the weather. And, weather's gonna weather. Okay, so for iron range, round radius plus, I don't know. I will read up on shadow casting and find out how this works, because this is the tutorial they borrowed it from. Because of recursive shadow casting field of view. Mostly a port of the Python version, however. Just an example, okay. Okay, that contains absolutely zero. Okay, recursive shadow casting. Also, what is this page? Rogue Basin? What is this? The roguelike information resource? It's a wiki for roguelikes. One does not simply ask, what is a roguelike? Roguelike is still growing in popularity. Describe any game with procedural content generation or punishing difficulty. Rogue Basin was meant to serve as a repository of knowledge, mostly for traditional roguelikes. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna read that later. Anyway, the gist of shadow casting is... Let's make this big. Shadow casting divides the field of view calculations into 8 octants. What's an octant? Hey, Hypercyper, how are you? Okay. You don't have to visit the map cells. A totally different way than normal ray casting described above. Instead of tracing lines from the center out to the edges, shadow casting visits map cells row by row or column by column, starting with the nearest row or column and working its way outward. Good? Good. I am also good. We're learning about shadow casting. We're doing field of view today. Or fog of war, if you like. So we can actually explore the dungeon instead of just being able to see it right away. So when a scan comes across a cell that blocks line of sight, it calculates which other cells in rows or columns farther away that aren't visible because of blocker. Those cells are in shadow, hence the term shadow casting. Okay. Normal shadow casting is described in detail. Oh, okay. Uses a temporary array and is rather complex. Using recursion, one can achieve a clean, pretty fast algorithm that only visits non-blocking and blocking cells, leaving out the cells in shadow. The algorithm is especially fast in confined areas such as corridors and small rooms, like in a roguelike. Perfect. What a great idea for a sci-fi medieval fantasy novel. Okay. You feel like sharing, or is it secret? Okay, I vaguely remember something about slope from math class. So we get a slope. And if we were to walk along this line, we would find that for each step we decreased y, x would be decreased by 0.3. The inverse slope is simply 1 over slope. That sounds vaguely familiar. Recursive shadow casting divides the field of view into 8 octants with shared edges. Oh, okay, so like wedges. Field of view will look like this when the octants are marked. Okay. As with normal shadow casting, this recursive shadow casting algorithm scans an octant row by row, column by column, depending on the octant. In each octant, the rows/columns closest to the starting point are scanned first. So in 1 and 6, we go row by row. Going from left to right. 2 and 5, we go row by row, going from right to left. Okay. So on and so forth. When a blocking cell is found, a new scan is recursively started 1 row or column further away, covering the area up until the first cell in shadow of the blocker. The rest of the initial row or column is scanned, and subsequent blocking cells directly adjacent to the initial blocker is skipped. So if we are here, then we look in a wedge out like this, and then there's some walls and stuff that will block our view. So in this example, rows 1 through 11 are scanned without any problems. When the rightmost cell is reached, a new scan is started 1 row farther away. Okay, so then we'd be up here. If we were to draw a line from the center of the starting cell to the center of the leftmost cell in any of these rows, we'd find that the slope is 1. We call this the scan start slope. If we would like to... Okay. When we reach the 12th row, things are becoming more interesting. The recursion started. Get to row 12 and hit the blocking cells. So when the first blocking cell is hit, we start again on row 13. So we get up to here, and then we start again up here. The start slope is, of course, the same for all the previous rows, but the end slope is different. The end slope is calculated using a line from the starting point to a point that brushes by to the left of the blocking cell. Okay. So from wherever the starting point is up to, and it's just brushing past the corner. Okay. Alright, I think I get the gist of it. I get the gist of it. So I'm just gonna go with, this works and it's fine, and I'm just not gonna worry about it. Okay, medieval fantasy novel. Atomic War, let it cool for 800 years. The proposed state. I started to imagine it as a Christian Saudi Arabia. Ah, so from science world to more medieval fantasy. Interesting. You could do a lot of interesting things with that. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay, we're just taking this and assuming that it works for right now, because that's more interesting. Now let's fit this into the rest of the game. As mentioned, this will be called From the Map, so let's start there. Okay, we're changing the variables section. Who we want. Data, and ready, got our dungeon generator. And we've got our field of view. We have an exported variable for the field of view radius and a reference to our field of view node. I'll also add the following function wherein we update field of view. Which we'll call the update field of view function in our field of view node. And do magic and math. Mathematical magic. So we expect the position of the player from where we calculate the view, and relay that to the field of view node, supplying the necessary arguments. This means we don't need to call that function from GameGD. Okay, so in game GD, we're modifying the physics process. Okay, so we handle the action, and then if action oh, for the love of, you know what, this is there. Okay, so when we process an action, we get the previous player position, or rather we get the current player position and store it in previous player position. We perform the action. Oh, sorry, I need to normalize the volume on these tracks. Because some of them are real quiet, and some of them are real loud. So we do an action, and then if this new position is not the previous position, then we have to update the field of view. Okay. Alright. This only works for updates. We need an initial field of view for the first turn. So we had another update to the end of the ready function. Map.date. Field of view. Player dot grid position. Now we have initial field of view, and every time an action causes the player to change its position, we update it. Should now be able to run the project and see that you don't see anything. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. Oh. Oh, you guys. This looks cool. Oh, this is cool. Oh, that's so cool. Have I played Angman yet? No. No, I have not. Sorry. It is open in a tab to remind me to do that sometime. Just haven't got there yet. What's this room over here? Ooh, Rogue. Hey, Blue Box. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. We've got our lovely roguelike with our randomly generated dungeon, and we have just added a field of view. So now I can actually explore the dungeon. I actually have no idea how big this thing is. I believe the code says it can be up to 30 rooms? This looks so freaking cool. I'm so excited by this. Okay, I think I've explored everything. That's so freaking cool. Ah, sorry. Gosh darn music tracks not being normalized. How's the Godot journey? It's Godoting along. I'm pretty excited about this. What time do we have? It's just after 4. We've got time. The next part is about placing enemies in the dungeon, so I think we should get on with that, because that'll be cool. Yeah, got it. Placing enemies and kicking them harmlessly. Nice. Okay. Mr. Trolley will start by spawning more entities, but first we need a way to keep track of them, coordinate all this with the tiles that are also in the map. We had already had entities node as child of game. However, if you think about it, entities will be located in the game world, i.e. on the map. They will relate to the map in other ways. For example, pathfinding will happen on the map, but will include information about the entities that exist there. Therefore, we will have the map handle entities and keep track of them. That way, map data should hold all the information we need to access for movement, fighting, etc. So let's move the entities node into the map node. Entities node into the map node. Create another node 2D as a child of map. And call it tiles. Make sure the tiles node appears above entities because this is the render order. Otherwise be drawn by the game no longer has an entities child, so we need to remove the on-ready entities thing. And then we'll need to put some stuff in mapgd. Okay, what are we adding in here? So much stuff. Oh wait, it's grid GD. Okay, we'll come back to that. Map. Okay. Map's got tiles and entities now. And we generate the dungeon, place the tiles, and then we're going to place entities. Which is gonna be for every entity in mapdata.entities. Wait a minute. It's entities. Mapdata.entities? What does mapdata know about entities? I'm confused about what I am confused about what we're doing here. So we need to modify place entities. No. Place tiles, you're saying. Child. Dungeon generation algorithm will populate an array of entities in map data. Okay, so when we generate our dungeon, it'll make entities and then we pop it out of our map data and stick it in here for reasons that are not clear to me yet. Player will be part of that array and thus will be added to the entities array in this function. This means we will need to modify our game grid to no longer do that. Right. So that's where we get rid of that. No longer add the player to the entities node. We need to modify one more place before moving to the dungeon generation. Modify map data as follows. We have a width and height, You already have tiles, but now you have the entities array. Which is set to an empty array. There's a whole historical debate going on in chat. I do not understand most of what you guys are saying, but you seem to be having fun, so carry on. I did that. Let's move to the dungeon generation. First thing to do is have the dungeon generator handle adding the player to the map data. So in dungeon generator, add a line for that. Where's our generate dungeon? Yes, you and your history. What's your next historical rant for the live episode? Or did you get this month off? Wait, you had this last live episode off for birthday month. So you should have a rant for next time, question mark? I don't remember things. Okay, generate dungeon. Dungeon.entities. Append. Player. Okay, so and we get the player from where? When we call generate dungeon, which I think happens in grid. No, you already have a player. Game creates the player. And then we tell the dungeon about it. Okay. So now the dungeon knows about the player. We can extend the dungeon generation with some enemies at following near the top of the script near our existing exported variables. Ooh, okay, so now we have monsters, 2 monsters per room. The maximum amount of monsters will play that the generator will place inside any room. Order was given, but it could do something. Murdering monks, maybe? Sure. I don't even know enough history to give you a thing to talk about, so whatever you want to talk about is fine. I'm hungry. So it's very annoying. Because I don't want to stop doing this, but also I'm really hungry. And we'll soldier through adding some enemies and then I can wrap up and go get food. Okay, we have maximum amount of monsters inside generate dungeon, add the following. generate dungeon. Rooms is empty. Player grid as tunnel. Okay, so before adding the rooms, we place entities. Nope. Into the dungeon. In the new room. So it's upset because we don't have a place entities function, so we're going to add that now. Which I'll put underneath all of this funneling stuff. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so this is saying, let's make this big. Okay, so we pick a number of monsters from 0 to the maximum number that we can define in our settings. For each of those numbers, we pick a random XY position in the room. Make a vector out of it. And then for entity and dungeon entities, if we already have an entity at that position, we can't put it there. So I guess we just don't put it there. And if we can put it there, we generate a new entity. Oh, and there's an 80% chance that it will be an orc type, which we haven't defined yet. Otherwise, it'll be a troll type. And then add it to our list of entities. Okay. Okay. Yes, this is just going through the code that I just already went through. I want to know their logic about the can place, though. This is a point the code can place. We know we made it through all the existing entities without encountering one that's already at that spot. And we know we indeed can place the entity. That seems like a weird way of doing it. Seems like a weird way of doing it. Also, this is upset because it's spaces and not tabs for some reason. And then this is upset because we haven't defined entity types or control. But I don't love this. Because it seems like you could just search our existing entities by their positions. And if the X and Y of the vectors match, then we can't put it there, in which case we can just generate a new coordinate. It seems weird if we just like try one place and oh no, we can't put it there, and just throw it out. mark this for later. To do. Seems like weird placement. Algorithm. Could be better. We'll come back to that. Oh, this not how we comment? No, because of course it's a that. Fine, 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 fine. Okay, we went through all that. Now we need to take care of our entities. We already have a nice system in place with the entity definition we created a few parts back. So we're opening the entity definition. And update all of these things. Okay. So things will have a name, a texture, a color, and it will have mechanics. Like it might be able to block movement. Players as well as the monsters will block movement, but we will later have items that can occupy the same space as another entity. We need a way to access these properties, so we need to modify entity a bit. Okay. Modify entity. We'll create an entity definition. As we did with the tile, we store the entity definition so we can access properties shared by entities of the same type via this variable. We need to also set this variable when we set the entity type. Stick there. And this needs to be called from the init function. We got a grid position. Which is going to take care of texture and modulate. Okay, so we don't need those there anymore. Lastly, we need functions to access the properties in definition. Right. Or is blocking movement and getting the name. Entity can now properly store and give us access to these new properties. Let's open. Oof, okay. Which thing was it? Assets, definitions, entities, actors. This one, entity definition. And fill the field name with player. Come on, bigger. Field name. Oh, here we go. Player. The is blocking is already checked per default. Is blocking movement, yes. Okay. So we've updated our player. So now we're going to make our orc and troll. Okay, create a new entity definition resource. Entity definition orc, I believe we're doing first. Set the name to orc and choose a fitting texture. Orc. Texture is a new atlas texture. Which is in here. Pretty sure it was that one. Alright. 16 by 16, we need to decide what our orc is going to look like. What's our orky guy gonna look like? What do we have? Have like a ghosty thing? Probably some of these. We're gonna need an orc and a troll. Is that a lobster and a crab? And okay, sure. Do any of these look particularly orc-like? Oh wait, that looks pretty orc-like. Let's go with that. Okay, that'll be our orc. And then we do this again and make a troll. New resource. Entity definition. Entity definition. Troll. Troll. New atlas texture, edit. Delete that. Grab our region. Now what's our troll gonna be? I like this guy. He's gonna be our troll. Right, I can choose colors for it. Color. You can be... Can be that color. And our orc can be... Orc's going to be a cheerful yellow color, just because I say so. Okay, so back in Dungeon Generator. We need to tell it about our entity types. Which gives us access to the entity definitions we just defined. Go back to where we left our to-do comments. Oh, well, maybe you left to-do comments. I don't know. To-do comments. It's not where I left my to-do comments. But... Where was place entities? Was that in map? I feel like that wasn't right. Nope. Is it here? Place entities. There we go. No, that's already done. Okay, we now create entities at the positions we randomly picked, and with either the orc definition or the troll definition. They should now be placed properly, and you should be able to run the project at this point. You should also be able to run through any enemy you find on the map. Okay. Well, let's run that and see what it looks like. Ah, we can magically see a bunch of enemies over here. And in theory we can run through it? Yes, we can. Cool. Oh, here we go. Here's a troll. We got a troll in this one. We can run through our troll. Yep. That room didn't get any enemies. Oh, there's a lack of enemies over here. Anyway, next step is to make the enemies obey field of view. Okay. Every time we update the field of view, which I guess I'm going to need this script. Oops. Go through the entities and update their visibility according to whether the tile they are on is in view or not. That takes care of that problem. Oops. Okay, go to map. Oh, that's in... Okay, map. Field of view. And then for entity, in the list of entities, its visibility is set to whether the tile is in view. So in map data, we're adding this. saying get blocking entity at location. So given a location, run through all of our entities. If entity is blocking movement and its grid position is here, return the entity. Also seems potentially like a weird way of doing that. Feel like there's some improvements possible there. Anyway, I suspect ultimately I'm going to change this whole enemy system anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. Enemy blocks movement and is at that given position, we return that entity. Otherwise, if we don't find a matching entity, we return null. Now just add a check in our movement system to prevent movement into a movement blocking entity. However, we will do what most roguelikes do and differentiate depending on whether we navigate onto a free space or into a blocking entity. So if the player presses left and there's an empty space, they will move there. If they press left and there's an enemy to the left of them, they will attack that enemy. Both of these actions have directionality, so let's make a new super type of action. Super type action by making a new script at we want the script. Create a new script at oops. Source is down here. Source, entities, actors, actions. You're off to torture a cat? I will not forget food, do not worry. I have taco salad supplies in the fridge ready to go and I'm very excited about it. And I will see you tomorrow with fresh new hair and stories of how my DJ playlist goes over tonight. I've been told it's a little experimental, so hopefully it's good experimental. But I'm excited and scared because tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I'm going to get shoulder length hair, which I haven't had since I was 17. And that was the whole reason that I went, actually, I hate this and I'm gonna grow my hair super long. So up until last summer, I had like knee-length hair. So shoulder-length hair is a huge departure. So I'm a little bit nervous I'm gonna hate it again. We'll find out. I have a notion. I have pictures of exactly what I want. So hopefully it looks as good in real life as it does in my head. What was I doing? I got distracted talking about hair. I was making a new script. Actors, actions. Create new script. Action with direction. Are you action? No. Action with direction. Okay, so its class name is action with direction. It extends action. It I guess the distance of the action is the offset. And it's gonna do stuff eventually. Let's pretty similar to the movement action. Makes sense. So this already has an offset. Now we're going to modify movement action. To extend this script. So instead of extending action, we'll extend action with direction. And then we don't need offset. So then we have destination, map data, destination tile, if not destination tile, turn, and then this line. If we get the map data and there's a blocking entity at the location that we're trying to move to, we will not move there. Okay. So we don't have a destination, or we can't walk on our destination. We're not going to go anywhere. And if there's something blocking us at the location, we're also not going to move there. Otherwise, if all that checks out, then we can move. It now extends action with direction. And hence we removed all the code relating to handling the offset. So we add one additional check in there. If there's a blocking entity at our destination, we won't move. But we're going to... Oh. Hey, thanks for the follow. Hey, are you the same... I recognize this name from TikTok. Are you the same from TikTok? Sundini? Yeah, welcome to the stream. Hey! Look at me remembering names. I probably pronounced it very wrong and I'm sorry. But we're doing Fog of War, or Field of View. And we've added enemies. And now we're working on making the enemies obey the Field of View and respond to attacks. Oh, I actually got it right. I'm famously bad at pronouncing names, particularly internet handles, because all the rules of pronunciation go out the window with those. Hi, Hypercyber. You're back. How was you? You went off to do a thing. I hope you were successful in doing your thing. Sorry, I don't remember what the thing was. Got too many entities and actions in my brain. What are we doing? You were successful, excellent. Okay, we remove code related to handling the offset. And the same there. What are these? I like those emotes, my goodness. I've been trying to read this paragraph for like 5 minutes, I swear. What is going on? Okay, we got those for free from the superclass, and can just use the offset in the perform function as we did before. Still, we add one additional check in there. If there's blocking entity at our destination, we don't move. Right, we're going to add an action in there that does something else when that happens. So this is going to change eventually. To put this check here is not a bad idea though, as in the future we might want to extend the game by entities that we don't want to auto-attack. Speaking of attacking, let's create an action to do so. Create a new script. Entities, actors, actions. Create new script. Melee action. Was especially annoying because I'm a very fast reader, but not when I'm also trying to read chat and respond. I can do one source of language at a time. So trying to read a tutorial, comprehend that, and keep an eye on chat, and be entertaining is very hard. Oh. Stretch. Okay. We're nearly done this, right? Yeah, we're near the bottom of this page. Because I need food soon. I'm hungry. I go reading the same paragraph again. Okay, melee action. Have it extend action with direction. Put the stuff in here. Okay, what stuff have we just put in here? Okay, melee action. We have a destination. We have a target, which is the blocking entity at that location. We don't have a target, just return. Otherwise, we're just going to print a statement to the console right now. Cute. You kick the whatever it is, much to its annoyance. I feel like there's room for a lot of fun here. But we'll leave it with that right now. Oh, okay. Similar to the movement action. Oh yeah, that's just... Okay. We'll just log the attack for now because we don't have a health system or anything yet. Mentions that we will put a system in place that decides what will be the appropriate action. Let's create this bump action now. Create another script file. Actions. Create new script. Bump action. Following code. Bump. Okay, what are you saying? Okay, so if we try to walk into a place and there's a blocking entity there, we do a melee action, else we do a movement action. Watching video game development on TikTok. I'm greatly intrigued. Yeah, I'm not sure how creative this really counts as being since I'm following a tutorial, but I figure once I know how to make a roguelike, I can make a better roguelike, and then there's a lot of room for creativity. Because I'm thinking something like dinosaur and cybersecurity themed mashup. So I'm gonna have to do all the art for that. I'm using a freely available tile set right now, but I'm gonna do all my own art and all my own music and theme it something that I haven't figured out yet. So I don't know if I'm gonna actually have like a dungeon crawler style like this is right now, where you just like go up to enemies and you hit them until you knock them out and take their stuff. I think I want to do something different than that, but I don't know what that is yet, so I'm doing this for now while I learn how everything works, and then we'll get real creative after. I'm very excited about it. Gotta do to learn? Yep, exactly. Doing and failing is the best way to learn. Nothing makes you learn quickly like failure. I do not want to be standing right now, and I still have to dance for 3 hours tonight. Okay. We've got our bump action. Blah, 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 blah. That's explaining the thing that I just went over. Can use it similarly to how we use the movement action, so let's go into the event handler. And replace movement action with bump action. Bump action. Reading code theory. I'll learn to code myself. Nice. And don't forget to do, not just read. My favorite style of learning is where like you read a little bit and like you learn a concept and then you immediately do something using that concept. So kind of tutorial style, really. So we'll talk about this concept for like 10-15 minutes, and now your assignment is to do it. And that makes things stick so well in my brain. Okay. This should allow us to run around and kick all the enemies. In later parts we also give enemies a turn, so let's set that up now. We'll do that after. This should be runnable in its current state, so let's run this. We have enemies. Okay. Oh! It broke. I pressed the down button and it broke. Oh, it crashed. Okay. Well, that didn't work. What was I just saying about the best way to learn is by failure? Oh, you already do pixel art? Yeah, why not learn a bit of code? It's... For all the wordiness that's in here, it's mostly not complicated. The field of view stuff is actually kind of complicated, but you can just copy pasta that. And then everything else is pretty straightforward. It's just like gluing different pieces together and like if this, then that. So there's a lot of pieces, but none of the pieces are terribly complex. Okay, this is... What are you complaining about? Valid index is blocking movement. Probably because that's not how you spell movement, guys. I forgot the first E in movement. Good job. Yes, 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 I know you crashed. Yes, you crashed really hard. I know, I'm sorry. Oh my god. There we go. Let's try that again. Okay. Okay. We can move, it doesn't break, and now... Aha! And then down here, it's saying you kick the orc, much to its annoyance. Aha! It doesn't do anything. But it prints a message. Here's another one. Aha! I can kick the orc. Okay, I want to make sure... Where's a troll? I need a troll. Oh my god. Why are these hallways so long? I need a troll. That's an orc. Those are orcs. Oh, I can't get through there. Come on. Trolls. I need a troll. Dead end. This is not... Come on, I know... Oh, I can't even go that way because the stupid thing's in the way and it doesn't move. I have to come at this from the other way. Did seriously no trolls spawn in this dungeon? I know there's a low chance, but my goodness, seriously? Come on. Give me an orc, or a troll. Trolls, there we go. You kick the troll, much to its annoyance. Wonderful. Where are my trolls at? Right? Okay. Great, so we can kick the trolls and the orcs. Much to their annoyance. Alright. I'm about at time, so I'm just gonna finish up this page. And one of these days I'm gonna actually remember to upload this to GitHub so that people can look at it if that's a thing they want to do. Eventually, one day. Okay, so in later parts we want to give the enemies a turn, so we're going to set that up with in the game script in our physics process. Inside action. If action. Use player position, action, perform, self and player. That. So now, instead of doing update field of view like that, we'll do handle enemy turns and update field of view. Got annoyed trolls and orcs. What's next, ogres? Maybe. I mean, we can add whatever we want. We can add more. Do some ghosts or something. Rar indeed. Okay, what is this? Okay. Yes, we haven't made this function yet, so it's upset. Which is this function. Which is saying go through all the entities. If it's the player, just ignore it, because the player is also in our list of entities. And then otherwise print the whatever it is, wonders when it will get to take its turn. We'll get to take a real turn. Okay. So we move, and then the enemies get a turn. Do the rar? Rar! I feel foolish. Okay. So we move, and then all the entities wonder when they get to take a real turn. And then we move again. If we make this really big, I've kicked the orc, and then all of the orcs and one troll wonder when they get to take a real turn. Anyway, that's working. Now add items. I'm gonna do what the tutorial says. We can detect them and then act accordingly. We have everything in place to start a combat system. Oh, we get to do combat next time. Doing and okay, please make sure to use at least Godot 4.1. Great. Let's make sure that we are in fact using the right version of Godot. This is 4.2. Good. This uses a star grid, which has changed slightly. And then it wants us to refactor. Ugh. That's like, it's like the vegetables of coding. It's good for you, but ugh. All right. So next week will be combat. Look, see you, Hyper Cyber. So if you randomly came across you, TikTok just knew. Be down the vibes. The jams right now are a bop. Thanks. So my husband does modular synth stuff, so these are all his tracks, which I need to go through and normalize the volume on them because some are really quiet and some are really loud. So I'm gonna put that on my to-do list right now, actually. I say that every time and I never remember. Normalize audio tracks. There we go. Yeah, so that was a roguelike part, whatever it is, I don't remember, where we added field of view and enemies. So next time we'll be apparently doing a combat system. I don't know what does after that, but given the size of the scroll bar on this page, this might be the entire next session. Is that crochet I see? Probably. Which crochet? There's a lot in this room. Which one are you referring to? It's the crochet leaf, but I also have the beginning of a sock that's knit. I have part of a sweater, it's also knit. There's a lot of knitting and crochet in this room. You're gonna have to be a little more specific. I make loops with sticks and string in my spare time. It's my main hobby when I'm not doing this, because I guess this is technically also a hobby right now. Anyway, game dev will be next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Actually, let me make sure I'm not lying. Yes, I will still be here on next Wednesday the 27th, 3 p.m. Eastern for more game dev. Fridays are for Dwarf Fortress. So that'll be Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh, the stuff bundled up behind me on the shelves. No, that's the wrong thing. So much yarn. Don't ask me how many hundreds of dollars worth of yarn that is. You know, I'm lying to myself. That's in the thousands of dollars worth of yarn, but we're not going to talk about that. And then, there's a real antique spinning wheel that I do, in fact, more or less know how to use. I'm still learning. And I made this thing. That's... The lighting on that is trash. That is really blown out. Anyway, I made a giant complicated lace shawl. I'm never doing it again. Incredible. It is incredible. Thank you for appreciating it. Yeah. I think that's all the things I had to say. I'm hungry. My brain is shutting down, so I'm gonna go solve that problem. And I will see everybody on Friday for some more Dwarf Fortress.